Hello, and welcome to the CalFresh and Nutrition Branch's CalFresh 101 webinar. My name is Alexis Fernandez, and I am the Chief of the CalFresh Policy Bureau here at the California Department of Social Services. Thanks for joining us. Today's webinar provides an introduction to CalFresh. Specifically, I'll provide a basic overview of the program, we'll review basic eligibility criteria, and we'll wrap up with an overview of the CalFresh application process and relevant resources. Let's get to it. CalFresh is California's version of the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. CalFresh provides monthly food benefits for individuals and families with low income. It's an entitlement program, which means that any person who is eligible is entitled to receive benefits. As such, it is the largest food assistance program in California. It helps reduce hunger and improve nutrition for millions of low-income individuals and families each month. The scale, scope, and reach of CalFresh make it a critical safety net program that also provides extensive economic benefits to local communities. It is estimated that every CalFresh dollar spent in a local community results in $1.79 of related economic activity. So how many Californians are served by CalFresh? In fiscal year 17-18, the average monthly participation was just over 4 million individuals across the state. Some of these individuals received CalFresh benefits as part of a household with other members. During that same fiscal year, almost 2 million households across California received benefits in an average month. That's quite a few people, which means we provided quite a few benefits as well. In fiscal year 17-18, nearly $7 billion in CalFresh benefits were issued to eligible individuals and families. During that time, the average benefit was $133 per month per person. We'll talk a bit more about the program's administration in just a moment, but I did want to mention here that all CalFresh benefits are federally funded. As a federal entitlement program, eligible people are entitled to benefits. Annual benefit amounts will shift with participation. As more people participate, benefit totals will increase. As fewer people participate, benefit totals will decrease. So what do we know about the over 4 million people we served last fiscal year each month? We know that many struggle to put food on the table. In 2017, in California, 11.2% of households were food insecure or struggled to afford a nutritionally adequate diet. Further, over 18% of children lived below the poverty line. Most CalFresh households have an income at or below the poverty level, as is shown in the graph on the right-hand side of your screen. CalFresh plays a critical role in ensuring access to nutritious, affordable food. As well, it provides an economic safety net that frees up household budgets for other critical necessities. What else do we know about the people we serve? We know that in 2017, more than 73% of CalFresh participants were in families with children. Almost 11% were in families with members who are elderly or have disabilities, and more than 48% were in working families. Later on, we'll talk a bit more about the special populations we serve and eligibility rules specific to them. But for now, I'd like to make the point that CalFresh households are diverse, both in their composition and in their needs. Now that we know a bit more about who we serve, let's talk about how we do it. The next two slides are about administration of the program. SNAP is a federally mandated program administered by the United States Department of Agriculture. At the state level, CalFresh is administered by the California Department of Social Services. California's 58 counties administer the program locally. Each of the 58 county welfare departments, as we call them, go by different names locally, such as the Department of Human Assistance or the Department of Social Services. As previously mentioned, CalFresh benefits are 100% federally funded. In addition to funding benefits, Congress sets national standards for SNAP eligibility. These standards determine who is eligible to receive benefits. Congress also sets benefit level standards, which determine how much individuals and families receive in monthly food benefits. These standards are applied across the country. As a state oversight agency, CDSS works in partnership with counties to administer the program, interpreting federal policy and providing guidance to counties, overseeing compliance activities such as performance monitoring, and providing technical assistance as needed to ensure that all counties are effectively supported. Counties implement the program locally. That means that they work directly with clients to determine their eligibility and issue benefits. How do customers receive and use their CalFresh benefits? CalFresh benefits are issued through an electronic benefit transfer, or EBT card. An EBT card works similarly to a debit card in that clients swipe at an eligible point-of-sale device and enter their PIN to make a purchase. EBT cardholders can use CalFresh benefits at many stores and farmers markets across the state. I'm sure you've seen signs around town that mention CalFresh, SNAP, or EBT is accepted here. The federal government determines which vendor or retailer is authorized to accept CalFresh. Retailers must apply and meet retailer standards to be approved to accept EBT. At those grocery stores and farmers markets, CalFresh benefits can be used to buy a variety of food items. These include fruits and vegetables, beans, breads, milk, and other dairy products. As well, households can use CalFresh benefits to buy seeds and plants that produce food to eat. As I already mentioned, CalFresh is for food, so there are some items that households are not able to purchase using their CalFresh benefits. Customers are not allowed to buy non-food items such as household products, tobacco and alcohol, vitamins and medications, hot foods, or foods that will be eaten in the store. The exception is the Restaurant Meals Program. The Restaurant Meals Program, or RMP, allows elderly, disabled, and/or homeless individuals to purchase hot and prepared foods at qualifying restaurants with their CalFresh benefits. This program is available in recognition that not all elderly, disabled, or homeless individuals may be able to prepare their own food due to a lack of adequate cooking facilities or other challenges. This is an optional county program, so it's not available in all counties. At this time, 10 counties, with more coming soon, are participating. You can learn more about participating counties by clicking on the link below. I've covered some basic program information. Now let's talk about eligibility. Before I get started, I'll remind listeners that this is intended only as a general overview. If you know someone who may be eligible for CalFresh, the best option for them is to connect with their local county to apply and complete a full eligibility determination. With that disclaimer out of the way, how do we determine who is eligible for CalFresh? Several factors, including income, citizenship status, age, and disability, determine CalFresh eligibility. Generally, households must have a gross income below 200% of the federal poverty level and a net income below 100% of the federal poverty level. The income limit determination and CalFresh benefit levels are based on the household size. There are eligibility rules for some special populations as well, such as ABODs, able-bodied adults without dependents, and students. What is a household? A CalFresh household is a group of people who live together and normally purchase and prepare food together. This definition of a household is unique to CalFresh, and it's focused primarily on how we purchase and consume food. It makes sense since this is a nutrition benefit program. Household members do not need to be related to each other, and there can be more than one household at one address. For example, a group of people who purchase and prepare food together might live with another group of people who they don't buy or eat food with. As I just mentioned, CalFresh households are generally based on who purchases and prepares food together. However, certain people living together must be counted together, even if they are not purchasing and preparing food together. Spouses must be counted together with their spouses in the same household, and parents must be counted with their children who are 21 years of age or younger. Once you have identified who is part of the CalFresh household, you must determine whether the household meets the basic income limit. Gross monthly income is determined by adding all of the household income, earned and unearned, before taking expenses and deductions into consideration. Generally, households must have a gross income below 200% of the federal poverty level to be eligible for CalFresh. I've posted the 200% gross income limits on the right side of this slide to give you a sense of the numbers. For example, for fiscal year 18-19, that's our current fiscal year, a household of 3 must have monthly gross income at or below $3,464. In addition to the gross income limit, a household must have net income below the net income limit. Net income is monthly income after expenses and deductions are taken into consideration. All households must have net income below 100% of the federal poverty level to be eligible for CalFresh. I've posted the 100% net income limit on the right side of the slide. For example, currently, that same household of 3, which had to have a monthly gross income at or below $3,464, must also have a net income at or below $1,732. One special note on the gross income limit. There is no gross income limit for households that include people who are elderly and or disabled. That said, these households must still meet the net income limit of 100% of the federal poverty level. I've already mentioned that CalFresh eligibility is based on income. Income includes earned income, such as money from a job or self-employment. It also includes unearned income, such as money from Social Security, pensions, and other retirements. Earned and unearned income are combined to determine if a household meets the income limits. In talking about the difference between the gross and net income limit, I mentioned that net income is determined by deducting expenses from a household's gross income. So what types of expenses are we talking about? For CalFresh, we can consider a variety of expenses. Expenses may include shelter expenses, such as rent or a mortgage payment, utility expenses, such as heating and cooling costs, dependent care expenses. If a household incurs dependent care expenses in order for a household member to accept or continue employment, seek employment, or attend school or training, CalFresh will consider these costs. As well, note that dependent care expenses can be for a child or other dependent, even if it's an adult, in the household. Other countable expenses for CalFresh include Medi-Cal expenses incurred by any individual who is elderly or disabled. A range of medical expenses may be considered, including over-the-counter medication, the cost of medical equipment, and even the cost of transportation getting to and from medical appointments. Now that you know a little bit about the income limits and how they are determined, let's talk about what benefit amount households may be eligible to receive. A household's monthly benefit is dependent on their individual household circumstances, but the most a CalFresh household can receive per month is based on the monthly maximum household benefit for the household size. I've posted the maximum monthly benefits for this current year on the right-hand side of the screen. Currently, for example, a household of 2 cannot receive more than $353 in CalFresh benefits each month. Before I get to special populations, I'd like to highlight a major CalFresh policy change that will be implemented on June 1, 2019, and will have an impact on eligibility. Under a policy known as cash out, individuals receiving supplemental security income and or California State Supplementary Payment, known as SSI/SSP, have not been eligible to receive CalFresh since 1974. Beginning on June 1, 2019, SSI and SSP recipients will be eligible to apply for CalFresh and receive CalFresh if they're eligible. There will be no change to the SSI/SSP benefit amount. This is a big policy change impacting CalFresh eligibility, and we expect that hundreds of thousands of newly eligible elderly and people with disabilities will participate. You can find out a lot more about this change by clicking on the link. There are special rules for certain populations. Today I'm going to go over two sets of rules, one for students and one for able-bodied adults without dependents. To be considered a student for CalFresh purposes, a person must be between the ages of 18 and 49 years old. They must be enrolled at least half-time in an institution of higher education and must be physically and mentally fit for employment. In order for a student to be eligible for CalFresh, the student must be employed or self-employed at least 20 hours per week. This is often referred to as the student work rule. If the student does not meet the student work rule, the student must meet the criteria for an exemption, or they may not be able to receive benefits. Exemptions from the student work rule include, but are not limited to, participating in work study, participating in CalWorks, or receiving a TANF-funded benefit such as Cal Grant A or B, and participating in an approved program focused on increasing employability. Able-bodied adults without dependents, or ABODs, also have special eligibility rules that must be met. An ABOD is defined as an able-bodied adult without dependents between the ages of 18 and 49. ABODs are limited to 3 months of CalFresh eligibility within a 36-month period unless they satisfy the ABOD work requirement, qualify for an exemption from the time limit, or reside in a county approved for a waiver of the time limit. You can find out more about the ABOD time limit by clicking on the link below. So now that you've got the basics down, how do individuals and families who may qualify for CalFresh apply? It's really as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, you can complete an application online, in person, or by mail. Some counties now offer telephone applications as well. Call your county to find out more. 2, when you submit the application, an interview is required before the county can determine eligibility. The interview can be completed by phone or in person. The county may also request proof of information provided on the application at this time. When the application and interview is complete and all proof has been submitted, then step 3, an eligibility determination will be made in 30 days or less. The statewide average is about 10 days, with some counties processing applications the same day, depending on the household circumstances. Households may be eligible for expedited services if they find themselves in an emergency situation, such as having no income or cash available. If this is the case, a household should contact the county right away and let them know what's happening. They may be eligible to receive benefits in as little as 3 days. This brings us to the end of our time together today. If you are looking for additional info on CalFresh, I've included a few links that may be helpful. With that, thank you for joining me today, and I hope you learned something new and useful.